Welcome to Las Vegas' South Point Casino and Convention Center. Today we'll determine the fourth and final competitor for the first major of the season, the PBA World Championship. Today's four finalists include the three-time All-American from St. John's University, Mike Fagan.
A loose arm swing, power, and revolutions. That's how he rolls.
Another collegiate standout, the Wichita State product, Josh Blanchard.
A three-time first-team All-American making his first ever telecast.
From Dayton, Ohio, the Buckeye, Brian Kretzer.
Won his only title in 2010, now looking to win his first major.
And your number 3 overall seed from Orange, New South Wales, Australia, Belmo, Jason Belmonte.
The two-handed freak of nature, looking to put his opponents away, down under.
How long did you work on that pun, Randy?
Long
You
time,
nailed
my
it.
friend.
It was very good. Eliminator format here. As the World Series of Bowling rolls on, all four will go. Low score out. Top 3 roll on until we're down to 2. The winner will be the fourth and final finalist for the PBA World Championship. Jason Belmonte, the high seed here in this division, so he got to pick the oil pattern, and he selected the 43-foot Shark.
And no surprise, you know why? Because Chris Barnes told me high rev players like the longer oil pattern.
Mike Fagan starting us off on the left lane. Great start. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, Chris Barnes. Glad you're with us today from Las Vegas. Osku Palermo, Ryan Schaefer, and last week Sean Rash. Those 3 have advanced to the PBA World Championship Finals. One of these 4 will join them. Your number 3 overall seed, Jason Belmonte. His best finish at the World Championships, a 7th in 2010.
See here, Belmo's going with a little bit of surface right off the bat, trying to get the ball to pick up. That one picks up a little bit quick. Lots of rev rate on this show. Lots of transition in this first game and a half.
And Chris, you have kind of some low expectations as far as high scoring going on this one. This one seems more lined up to be a kind of a gritty, gutty game.
Yeah, last week we saw tremendous scores. Guys played further to the right. They broke them down correctly. Tons of rev rate. Guys are playing in already with surface. They're going to keep breaking down. Guys are going to have a hard time keeping up with those moves. And it's going to make that down lane oil appear even tighter.
Blanchard leaves the 10. His first shot in front of the TV lights. Brian Kretzer, 1 PBA Tour title on his resume. Won it in March of 2010 in Norwich, Connecticut. Good start for Kretzer. Blanchard steps up on the left to close out. Blanchard grew up in Los Angeles, recently moved to Phoenix after getting married a couple months ago.
So a lot of new and exciting things going on here in Josh's life, and that includes his time right here in Vegas.
I came out here kind of just to learn. My wife said go try and see how it is, and so I just came out here to try, and I failed the first day miserably. With flying colors, I failed, and after that I learned the next day, drilled a couple balls. All of a sudden 12th place the next day, 10th place the next day, 6th place the next day, and now I'm on the show for the World Championships.
Blanchard, a 3-time All-American in college, as was this young man, Mike Fagan, as he starts off the second frame. Mike made just 1 show last year, the Geico Shark Championship, where he finished 5th, and the year before that, he was second to Jack Jurek in the same tournament, losing in a roll-off. So we know he's pretty comfortable on this Shark oil pattern, which, by the way, you can try out if you join a PBA Experience League. Check with your local bowling center.
Even with all those revolutions, that ball didn't turn up into the pocket quite hard enough, leaving the shaker 8-10.
My opinion is on this particular pattern, that if there's a time to beat Belmonte, it's this game. If it keeps going, I think he just keeps getting stronger.
And he only has to beat one player, so in this format, that should bode well for him, wouldn't you think?
I think so, but the reason is this. Speed kills on this pattern. And even with all those revs, ball speed's still pretty high. It's much higher than all the rest of the guys on this show.
Almost in the corner.
As soon as the lanes start to hook a little bit and he has some friction with that dull ball, I don't think he's going to have any trouble at all.
So with what you're telling me then, this should really favor a guy like Brian Kretzer.
I think it does for quite a while.
And Kretzer with an opening double to back up your statement.
Just because of the speed thing, once they start to hook enough, his rev rate doesn't match up as well as some of the other guys. I think he gets in trouble the longer it goes, and they force him really far left.
Gotcha.
Josh, cut it too close and whiffs. And his wife, Amy, the stoic approach. She's making her TV debut as well. It's a lot of pressure on the wives out here. Sean Rash's wife getting a lot of airtime this season already. We'll see a lot more of her and Sean. Sean last week advancing to the finals of PBA World Championship. What a showdown. What a show it was last week. Pete Weber, Sean Rash stepping up and delivering some top-notch entertainment. Belmo's spare open frame. Here he is in the third. Struck the pose and gets him to go.
That shot there had more revolutions than a small Central American country. Watch this. You want to see some sick pin action? Head pin, sidewall, 10 pin. You're done.
Fagan with the spare as I try to fully digest that comment. Kretzer, his effort in the third. Three for three is Brian Kretzer. Only his 8th televised appearance. First for this young man, Josh Blanchard. What have you seen from him out on the tour so far, Chris?
Well, we haven't seen him much there, but I saw him bowl a lot in college at my alma mater, Wichita State. And this guy's got a ton of game. It won't be long before we see a lot of him, I think, out here.
Big learning curve, though, when you get with the big boys and then you take it to the lights and the TV cameras.
This is not a great pairing for him. Got a lot of rev rate, a lot of guys left of him. He rolls the ball a lot in the front, and he probably needs more of a range speed-wise to be able to move far enough left and stay slow enough to not get caught in the middle.
Back-to-back open frames.
Not how you want to start on TV, my friend. How you want to start? You want to do what Brian Kretzer's done. 3 straight strikes. He's on top. Top 3 move on. The conclusion of match number 1 when we return to Las Vegas. The PBA World Championship is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Alka-Seltzer Plus. Alka-Seltzer Plus liquid gels provide more complete cold relief than NyQuil. By Hammer Bowling. Nothing hits like a hammer. And by the USBC and its 2 million members. To find out more about USBC, log on to bowl.com today. Glad you're with us back here in beautiful Las Vegas. World Championship finalists, 3 of them have been determined. Palermo, Schaefer, Rash. Who will join them in the finals? Mike Aurby division continues here, match number 1. Mike Fagan grew up in Long Island. Standout bowler there. Won the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Championship all the way back in '97 as a junior. Great success. St. John's University. And now 2 PBA Tour titles to his credit. Play.
strike there for Fagan, and he and Belmo best mates, as Jason likes to say, but Belmo experiences mixed feelings when competing with his buddy on the lanes.
It's difficult bowling against someone who's one of your best friends as well, because you obviously don't want him to strike so much. But, you know, you do, because you want him to do well. So it's Mick's like the guy who I kind of just expect to do well every week. He's so versatile. He can throw the ball as straight as Walter Ray Williams and curve it as much as me. And when you have that in your bag, you're pretty competitive every week.
Belmo with a strike there as he sits down. That is the Earl Anthony PBA World Championship Trophy. One of these four guys will have a shot next week to try and claim it. Blanchard, oh boy.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 opens in a row for him. Boy, I remember my first telecast ever. 154 against David Ozio, Tucson, Arizona, 1985. What a nightmare.
Ran you over by about 9.
Really?
Yeah. Leading the tournament. Chief only beat me about 70.
While you two guys reminisce over here, Kretzer left the 10-pin. Blanchard.
He's letting everybody get loose here.
4, 6, 7.
That's a lineup shot. He's got to do something different. I don't even hate that play right there. You don't like giving up the count, but if the next one doesn't hit the pocket, it's going to be so too far behind to even matter.
I think that's a smart play. Real smart play. Try to get lined up with a different bowling ball because what he's doing right now isn't working.
Yeah, he's got to pick up 10s, not 2s.
Leaderboard through 4. Kretzer still on top. Blanchard trailing Belmonte by 33.
3-6-10.
3-6-10 left for Belmo.
And that might as well be the PBA washout.
3-6-10. Throw the 9-pin in there and it is.
Well, then it's about the big 4.
Yeah.
What do you think about Michael's approach here this first game? The line he's playing.
I think it's real interesting that he's going as straight as he is with as much speed as he's using. And I think that's why he's experiencing some pretty lousy pin carry right now.
That tells me that he thinks the scoring pace this first game isn't going to be very high.
Whoa, how about that? 10 got blocked. Open frame for Belmo.
Blanchard finds a way into a double, and he's back in within single pins.
Third 9 spare for Fagan to go with his 2 strikes. Kretzer opened up with a 3-bagger, 9 spare in the 4th. Here he is in the 5th.
Fourth strike there for BK, and here is Brian on why he started bowling.
I love the sport. You know, it's something that you know, if you're not 6'1" and can run a 4.40, you can still be a bowler. And I was 5'10" and a little skinny white kid. I couldn't play sports anymore. But bowling was something you could do. And like I said, I got good at it. And whenever you're good at something, it's a lot more enjoyable. And fortunately, I got really, really good at it.
Big Ohio State fan, also follows the Cincinnati Reds. Remember correctly, a couple years ago, he came out in a scarlet and gray jersey. That might have even been in Columbus, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what Blanchard has here. A little change.
Oh, got the 7th now, better than last time.
2-4.
Unbelievable.
Spares aren't getting any easier for him here either.
2-5-8. Not exactly routine.
You can hear him explain. He squares up, it hooks early, gets left, goes by it. This is where he has to gear down his speed and give it time to read the lane. A lot easier to see from here.
Stop the bleeding, Rob.
Tourniquet applied. It was spare. That's the deficit he has to make up. Down 18 pins. Here's Fagan.
His third strike, and earlier we heard Belmo talk about his buddy Mick. Now here's Fagan on his friend from the land down under.
He's always, you know, the X factor. You gotta realize he's one of those people that you have to watch because he can destroy a lane. I mean, the oil just spreads out and evaporates because of the way he throws the ball, the amount of revolutions, and you know, you have to always be wary of what he's doing because his ball is going to affect your shot. I mean, there's no two ways about it.
Jason Belmonte up. He's already had 2 open frames, one in the second, one in the fifth. Here he is in the sixth on the left.
That's a lot better.
They liked it, and for good reason.
Yeah, that was a little better.
He's already in the 4th arrow, out to 10. Look at the 6, just snap the 10 out. If he continues to move on, he's just going to continue to move to the left.
Blanchard still seeking his first strike under the lights. Got a chance.
Another ball change. Finally something that read the oil pattern better.
Something for his wife Amy to cheer about.
An accomplished surfer in her own right.
Hanging 10.
Hanging 10.
Nice. That's okay because there's no 10 pin with it, just the 2 pin.
Pretty good sign you're doing the right thing. Seemed like anytime, not only when you threw good shots that you didn't strike, but when the bad ones started to split, there's a pretty good sign that you're throwing the wrong ball this week.
Jason Belmonte still just 1 PBA Tour title. Came in 09. There's a good looking strike. He and Sean Rash had a wonderful start to the World Series of Bowling. Those 2 guys trying to carry it over when the paychecks are written and the trophies are handed out. Airmailed by Kretzer. I don't think that was a search mission either.
Definitely not.
No problem with the approaches.
We've seen some issues on that left lane with the approach. Saw it last week. Pete Weber had a couple issues with it.
General thought when they're kind of hard that you just throw it straight at them.
Fagan still without a double.
It just looks to me like it's too straight. Too straight and too hard.
Yeah. Again, the only thing I can see here, he didn't have a great ball reaction in practice. It looked like he had too much polish on most of his stuff. But he's got to think the scoring pace just isn't that high, and then he can get through by shooting 1.9 or 2.0. And right now,
Down there, and you don't have to shoot
looks
him.
pretty good.
The 5th strike for Kretzer. He continues to chew himself out. Michael going after the 4. Now he's staring at the approach.
But see, he threw the ball straight at that single pin spare like Chris mentioned. Throw it straight. A lot of times you can get away with sticking at the foul line. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. It's, you know, when you just, the lanes are a little touchy. It doesn't take much for it to get out of line here.
Blanchard to step up and close out the 7th. It's got some turf to make up.
Oh, Brooklyn maybe? Oh, good. What a decel on that one, Joshua. The ring is tighter, so don't throw it right. Just keep it in.
If you guys had a moment to pull him alone right now, what would you whisper into his ear and help him out here, Randy?
I'd say at this point, why don't you just try to have as much fun as you can. He seems awfully tight, and that's due to the fact that he got off to such a poor start. Right now, try to enjoy the last 4 frames of this game. Now let's look back at last year's TSC and what Tom Doherty did against Mika. When Mika almost bowled 300, he shot 299, and Tom Doherty shot 100.
Barely.
But you know what? He had some fun with it at the end. He was extremely gracious.
Had the whole crowd behind him.
Yeah, and so it made for a good watch, and it made it fun.
Fagan, only 1 strike here on this right lane, came all the way back in the first frame. No strikes there, and that run continues, leaving the 6-7-9. More pain here on the right lane. Take another look, straight, off target, through the nose. Up now, is Buddy Belmo trying for a 3-bagger.
Ouch.
Left the 9.
Remember, low score out. You don't have to be the high score. You just don't want to be the low score. The elimination format.
Well, it's pretty much shaping up, Chris, the way you saw it. Kind of an ugly, gritty, scrappy type affair here. Fagan, great pickup.
Like it's his job.
No bad.
Nice girlfriend, Emily Mayer, enjoying that one. Beautiful smile from that young lady. And this is your fast, safe pain relief replay brought to you by the makers of Bayer Advanced Aspirin. Belmo, he and Fagan, good mates, as Jason will often say to you. Those two having a little laugh. Last year and the year before, we're talking a lot about Belmo, Fagan, and Bill O'Neill, the rat pack of the PBA. Those three.
The 3 amigos.
Yeah, young talents, always kind of rolling in the same circle. And haven't seen Bill O'Neill yet this season. Come on, give the kid a strike.
That's a pretty good shot there, and that won't loosen up your arm swing any.
No. This is where I turn on the Tom Doherty mode. And I just start smiling and having fun and thinking, hey, life could be a heck of a lot worse.
2 in a row for Kretzer.
Interesting note about that Doherty game. He hit the head pin on his first ball of every frame. He got a pin on his second ball of every frame and still shot 100. Couldn't do it on purpose.
No. What do you have, 7 or 8 splits? Something crazy? Yeah.
Done with 8. Only Kretzer struck in that frame. Through 8, it's still Brian on top. 21 better than Fagan. You only need to be in the top 3, and Belmo is there. 26 behind Kretzer.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
I don't think there's any guy out there right now who's saying to himself, "Oh, I got this thing figured out. I'm in good shape."
Kretzer's got to be the closest. Fagan's got to be thinking, I would have thought there would have been enough time. It would have been the time to make a move in and get a look at the different part of the lane.
Back-to-back stone 9s for Belmonte.
He's getting close.
Yep. As the oil pattern starts to burn up a bit and he can move in and start using a little more angle, he's going to get tougher and tougher. But I would expect if Mike Fagan makes it through to the next game, you'll see a little bit of that from him as well.
There are a few who can burn up the oil at a more rapid rate than Belmo.
True that.
Destroys lane patterns. I've never seen anybody take that much oil off the lane with even with a shiny ball. It's pretty amazing.
Oh yeah.
Blanchard can still force some people to mark in the 10th frame here if he can find a way.
pretty much done.
That was a better shot, too. This is your nightmare.
Yeah.
Your first show. And I mean, how many of us have gone through this right here?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Both good. Had something kind of figured out, get on TV, and...
Hello, 160.
There's Kretzer, you're right. He's the one guy who seems he's got a little bit more of a better handle of things, but Belmo starting to figure things out. Fagan lurking. Oh my goodness gracious! From bad to worse to miserable.
Oh, good.
Yeah, once he hit the lane, he had no chance. It's like hitting ice. Ball never clears his thumb, hits the lane, hits that oil in the heads.
And the irony is this is a new spare ball.
See the damage he did to the oil over there. Not to mention his hip and self-esteem. Amy's going to have to do some counseling tonight.
Come on, Josh. Let's see you slide that over and make this. Yeah, not a foul because he never let go of it.
Because he couldn't let go of it. It's crazy glued in there. So Mike Fagan, Jason Belmonte, and Brian Kretzer move on to match number 2, and we'll have it from Vegas when we return.